Good morning, folks. I believe I've shared my screen properly. That was my mistake. I'm not checking on myself. Right, it's 9:14 a.m. on the 7th day, 6th month, 2023. Get up and turn off any kind of noises in the background I can. All right. Right, and put on my reading glasses. I'll set the screen a bit, and I'm going to double check by looking at my phone that I'm running, and I'm going to get on with it. Okay, okay. That's just how that's gonna work today. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I want to show a video. I'm gonna have to turn my volumes up in such as so you can hear this. Okay. I'm gonna talk a bit about some Chembomb methods. You guys are always showing me crazy flight patterns and things done, and I'm gonna show you some of the stuff I'm aware of. So the artillery method is said to be used in a SIGI 1111, right? Right, so if I pull this document, I'm going to go to page 13. It says an artillery method. And I'm just, anybody who's familiar with this document, I've used it many times. And I highly recommend you learn this document, memorize this document, because this is what they're asking for. This is the Paris Agreement. This has not been ratified. Uh, it has not been by our consent at all, Everest, if we want our sunlight blocked. But if you look down here on page 13, you see here in the first paragraph, last sentence. Just remember, first paragraph, last sentence. And read potential delivery for your contaminations or delivery vehicles for sulfur dioxide injection. Right, sulfur dioxide. The word here, acid. Alternatively, direct injection of acid. Okay, chembombs are very dangerous, but it says right here, artillery shells, aircraft, artillery shells, stratospheric balloons, and hoses from tower. And what I'm going to cover today is this: the artillery shells, which any projectile shot out of a flare can be considered an artillery shell and from an aircraft. And I'm going to cover that a bit, and I think you'll find that of interest. You've got about $36 of hell that's going to go on over here. Get less and less. It's very dramatic, isn't it? No, I don't think that's a fire. I don't know, that was a weird one. Anyways, I'm going to keep going on. I want to roll this now so you can see what's going to go on over the next 36 hours. I'm going to let this do 1 hour jumps. And while I check to see that I am running, right, I'm going to do this twice. And if I do this right, I should be able to see your comments. So let's do this. Do this. Do. Okay, here we go. We got it's definitely me showing live. Yep. My screen is showing. Let me turn down the volume here. Now I can see your comments as you're talking. As I look over here. Good morning, Matt. Yeah, I see you now. Right. The others are watching with you. I hope so. I hope they pay attention as well. Because, it's complicated man made weather, but yet it's simple. You accept the fact it's being done, and then look at natural weather and saying, okay, how are these conditions being reproduced? Yeah, it looks like finally the flow through Bass Strait is going to be allowed. It's till this flow is allowed straight through here. This storm just keeps folding and pumping its moisture inland until the flow changes. Yeah, and then she roars through. When the flow changes here, the dynamics of the storms in New Zealand are going to change. The pressure on this will be a bit forced that down. You'll get a dance of two lows. Maybe it'll show it here. Well, it's just going to happen, right? And it's going to be kicking that moisture in toward Hawks and all that. And your little bit of break will come to an end. And this batch here is not to be taken lightly, right? You guys a very bad situation unfolding. Your tornadic conditions across Vic, parts of southern Australia and New South Wales will yield in some very, very spiky hailstones. So protect your garden if possible. You can have a couple old mattresses in the garage. You can make a little tent out of them over the top of your little garden bed, and it would dang sure save you tomatoes, right? Because it's nice to be able to grow your own food, but it's heart wrenching watching it destroyed by man-made storms. They were predicted to have tornadic conditions, and hail is a tornadic condition. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Golly, here you go, New Zealand. This is a moment of a reckoning for you. when the flow from Cook Strait changes in and up and around, you're going to get a mini low form. It's going to feed. Whoosh. Yeah, this is not a good setup. Not good at all. And they're calling for some action around the Wellington area. See how the flows keep shifting? It puts a lot of pressure on your island. Pressure on the fault lines. Yeah. But moon position and stuff, I wouldn't see anything more than 5.2, 5.3s coming around the planet in the next 3 to 4 days. Lunar position is just not right. Unless they pop a big beam. See her coming back? Told you, she's coming back. That's the storm, the Chembomb that won't go away. I can actually see your comments. I got my phone set up over here to my left. Oh yeah, it's saying oh, I can see the word. Oh, they're getting me wrong. Okay. And here she comes. And that finally fucks off. Why? Because they got the next batch for you. Right? Clear it out. Set it up. They're going to need to chem the fuck out of you on Wednesday the 14th at New Zealand to make this occur. And about the same time, they're working the flow through the strait, right? To keep the shove on this, to keep the gear pushing it down, pushing the pressure on this, pushing the pressure. Look at the pressure on this here, though, pushing that way. You're going to have to cut this storm. In other words, burnt pine's going to have to put out a beam. It separates this tendril so that this can collect it in. Most likely also another beam this way to cut that south, send that back into the Antarctic Ocean down here and allow this to freely just wiper blade your ass. And it will. It has to. It's the only way they can make it move in. Uh-huh. And so good morning, folks. If you have any questions, I can see you now. I guess you poor folks, it's the never-ending story where they give you the morning glory every morning, a great big stiffy right in the eye. Ooh, they're pokerizing you, man, just like this stand. And that's, you might want to just write that moment down here in time. If this weather plan occurs like this, with the pressure pushing here, cocking that fault toward the west, while this one here puts pressure on this island like having a handle of something and pushing down like on a door. It's going to cock open that strait and you guys are going to hit a quake. I just write that time down. That's just how this is going to work. And according to how I look at how earthquakes occur. Right, my system. It said fuck the system a long time ago. It started looking at what my eyes see. And my eyes look at the skies and realize it's something that's wrong. Yeah, ooh, I bet I got a Chembomb show for you. So that takes you right up to the 16th, so I shouldn't have to go back to that. Alright, good, that's done. Significantly so. Now I want to show you some Chembombs. Well, I didn't want to show you them, but they're there, so I have to. This is evidence of a crime scene, and we have to document the crime scene. The simultaneous Chembombination here of chemistry over here near the not-so-mild air of Dora over there. It just looks mighty simultaneous, these V's here in the sky. Bombs. Boom, 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 boom. Turns you some nitty-gritty city information. Sarah said they had another storm go through about an hour ago. Could you tell me the location, please? I can't remember everybody's everythings. Dang, boom, 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 plumes right here. Look, these are boom, boom plumes above the whiteout in the microwave matrix on this low deck out here with the straight line. And boy, is it beaming. You can see there's a beam lines coming up through here, right? See that straight line? See that? There's a break in the clouds that goes way up. It's a beam swath. And how do I know it's a beam swath as well? Because I looked. Fucking looked. Straight on up. Okay, so I went over here to and turned on the weather radar. I see. Do I see any beamings going on? Have they not managed to get them all out? You see that little line right here? It's to the east of Ramsey and Heathcote here, coming straight up. Follow my middle finger right there. Watch. It's a beam swath. It keeps nucleating the same spot. Beam, 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 beam. It'll be more obvious in this 6 hours. It's going to take a moment for this to load. It is worth it. This is data. See the beams? Look. See the beam swaths coming from the radar station down here? All those lines are pointing right at the guilty spot. Right, they're pointing right at the guy doing it. If you stood in a spot with a slingshot and start popping out windows, they would triangulate where you were. You'd be standing right there. And if that was a guy popping out windows, it'd be your next red station over here in Melbourne. that they seem to want to hide from the Bureau of Moronic Thinkers over here at the National Lopi. We'll pull up here of the nothing. All right, so we'll go down here to Melbourne. Are you even showing accurate radar? Right? Are you showing your beam? No, they're not. Right? So they absolutely just pixelate this out. So you can't even tell if that's a cloud or somebody drops some Legos on the ground. You don't want to go skywalking up here. That's for sure going to hurt your feet with this look right here. And so you see, they're not accurately showing you what's going on. And even here, you're going to regret that they didn't pixelate that out some more, because I'm showing the weather manipulation. It's actually causing a flow push in this direction. It's funneling stuff in so it'll slide this way, feeding this, so it can come back around and bring all these Texans that have been exploding out here at sea. You know, these ones right here, exploding out to sea, can bam in your ass, can be bend you over, and they bomb. See all the bombs right here, and here, and here? Watch them. Boom, boom, boom. To continuous bombing of your weather. You know, they have ability to do pyrotechnics in the sky. And they have remote control vehicles. I'm going to show you here right now a video I've got. I'm going to let this run a bit. All right, this is called Flying a Plane with Fireworks. Okay, I'm going to pop this into the chat. I put it on the description so you can give this guy a thank you very much for showing this information. And the whole what could possibly how it can be used is then up to our minds to determine, right? I'm deep wabbit wascal hole here today, and well, they're a bunch of wassholes, so let me do this. So I'm going to play this part here. He talks about this plane. If you want to watch all 6 minutes, I'll do it.
We attach pyrotechnics to our planes so we can produce a fireworks show in mid-flight. Do you want to come for a test ride? Going right now. What else was I going to say? Look at that sunset. Oh, wow.
My inspiration for aerospace.
I gotta say, sometimes you guys pick up weird lights in the distance. What's that color? What's this color moving around weird? What? Think planes. These aileron things up here, things are attached actually on the wings. Some of the videos that are going around couldn't be any more fake about a chemtrail plane.
Seeing
so go ahead and listen.
On television in Edinburgh, where underneath the castle they had a waterfall of light. I always imagined that being somehow trailing off behind the wing of an aeroplane.
Aerosparks, as a display team, we're lucky enough and privileged enough to go all over the world. We've been to China, Saudi Arabia, Portugal, lots of locations in Europe, and obviously locations in the UK. And we can display from up to 3...
Did you see this thing in the ground? It is detachable and reloadable. Okay? And continue.
Display from up to 300,000 people to 1 million people.
All right, it is nearly dark enough and our planes are nearly in position. This is going to happen very soon. Just to be clear, this is a practice run. This is not a proper display. When there's a display, there is a lot more going on in the cockpit, a lot more going on in the pyrotechnics.
See these things on the wings?
They are very much not allowed to take passengers. But, yeah, let's see what this is like. And relax. I don't know if it's that obvious.
One of the big wows is flying in extremely close formation. We're helped by the wings
right
being
there in the landing gear.
So your peripheral vision is just
it's Chembomb man right there.
I don't see Guy very often, but I know that he's probably only 3 meters from my aircraft, and that's where trust comes in.
You'll see us firing lots of different kinds of fireworks, pyro, from the aeroplanes. They all need preparation.
And each one's got different chemicals for colors.
So all of the igniters, the E-matches, need inserting into the fireworks. We need to work out what we're going to put on the aeroplane where, and then the process of actually fitting to the aeroplane, again, can take half an hour to an hour. We genuinely can't shimmy down the wing and light the blue touch paper. All commercial firework displays are ignited the same way. They're all ignited with a control box lighting an E-match or an igniter, and that goes into the blue touch paper effectively. And we do just the same. We started out by having a bank of switches, but when you're under high workload in formation flying, it's so easy to hit the wrong button. We can fire 24 separate fireworks in our display. you can't get 24 right in a sequence. So we've actually had a bespoke computer system designed. And not only does it fire our fireworks for us, but it controls the LED light system on the aeroplanes as well. And that means I now have only one button.
Blue beam
so
your
once I
ass.
pressed it once, it then auto sequences on to the next part of the programs. My imagination, I found over the years, has always been a leapfrog ahead of the authorities' regulation, not trying to stop what we're doing, but trying to understand what we're doing and finding out where it fits into.
Now, I'm telling you, you guys show me some stuff. It takes a platform. You see how that can clamp together there? They could put something in there, Roman candles, whatever. And what he's doing is a chemical going in the sky. This tech can also be done remotely, okay? At higher altitude than this guy's plane can fly.
Finding out where it fits into regulations that were written quite genuinely not for aeroplanes. So at the moment we're dealing with aviation regulation and firework regulation.
Diving now.
And boy, could they put it out there, not just that mist.
Fire.
Look at the flares here. Look at the loop patterns. Look at the convections they could stir. Artillery being deployed.
So the question is,
flares.
How can they do this? And how can they do this safely?
So don't tell me this can't be done.
We have defined roles. My job is to lead the formation, lead the display.
Rob is working very hard on the climb out, working out exactly where to...
Now look at what the smoke looks like. You see these plume-looking things like that? The curves, the dots, it's everything we're seeing in the clouds.
And how to modify the display subtly to keep it in the right place with the wind conditions. And my job is very clear, to fly safely and as close as I can without hitting him. Planning is everything in our display. And that planning starts on the ground before we even get airborne. We do a bumblebee dance, as we call it. So we go around in circles, in our mind and physically mimicking the maneuvers that we're then going to do in the sky. And that then sets a cadence and a rhythm and a physical memory of what you're doing so that when we start a display, we're on the same page and working as a team.
On the radio, we're confirming all the time what we're going to do before we do it.
Okay, firing now.
Firing now, Chembomb on.
The choice of using a Grob 109 motor glider was for lots of reasons. One of my original imaginations of this firework display was to separate the fireworks as far as we could.
Artillery.
And we need a big wingspan for that. Because it's a glider,
geoengineering.
it also has efficiency of a glider, which means that we can perform...
And not his intent is to entertain. However, the side effect is geoengineering.
The disadvantage with a motor glider is a very small engine. That means we take a long time to climb to altitude, and when we're at altitude, we try and conserve all the energy we have. We describe our display as painting with light.
Shame on you.
We like to think that the focus is more on the image we're painting with the aeroplanes rather than the distinct manoeuvres we're doing separately. Fireworks are great on the ground. When you're flying next to fireworks, it's even better. And I still pick...
I think that's enough. You're getting my point? It can be done. It is being done. And whether his intent or not is to geoengineer, even the very fact he needs permission to do it, it tells you they can say yes or no in this area at any given time to make sure their conditions are how they want. And when it comes to adding chemicals in the atmosphere, the colors on those flares will tell you exactly what they were deploying. Right? Exactly what they were deploying. Artillery method proven. It can happen. And that's also those platforms can be done remotely. Don't tell me they can't, and be quite larger. So I don't think that video going around about that plane that has all those the things to tell them whether the wing is going to stall and what's going on avionics-wise is a chemtrail plane you guys have been showing. I don't agree with that video at all. I believe it's disinformation. This beam right here is not disinformation. This is geoengineering of his storm that's going over Melbourne now. And I'm going to have another look at some of the Chembombs, go through some of your forecasts and tell you what is nothing less than the terrible totals that have been brought to you by the man. The man is beaming your ass. Did you see it? See the fan of the beam? You can't miss this. It's all pointing at the radar station. Go back a little bit here. It's a slam bust right here for geoengineering this storm. That fan shape. Telltale sign that you've been beamed. Yep, beam, ba-da beam, ba-beam, beam, ba-beam. They're flicking your beam, man. Not quite as pleasant as flicking the beam, that's for sure. Oh, I like to give a bean blast in your nose, right in front of them that are doing this. It's not fair. Not fair at all. And I'm not happy about it. So let me show you some of the totals now, as you're gonna want to see this. Oh my God! And again, they're swelling up these up here in the mountains, so they run down towards like towns like Wangaratta. You're absolutely fucked over here, Myrtle Ford. And with the word Ford, I think you're kind of used to the runnings of waters, and you'll be a trade point, logistics center, and it definitely needs some smartening up. Right, your city needs smartening up. Like it wasn't nice to have a quaint town anymore. Why do we have to electrify everything? Can we have some Mother Nature? Oh, look at these power lines. They might need replacing, or whatever that is. What is that? I'd be very curious what those are. Kind of get their power line look. Who knows? Yeah, 250. Ooh. Yeah, 220 kV. They're running some voltage, so they can pulse those lines and actually make an ionic effect over your town. It could draw lightning down. What did he say? Yeah, just what I say. Hey, you got another Eskdale. From one Esk to another, you're going to have some problems, man. It's like they said, well, we're going to flood out Esk, and they couldn't figure out which one. You want this one or this one? Okay, I'm going to show you assets. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Their totals are still showing there, Hastings. The totals are still showing there, Napier. They're finally being honest with you. They didn't want to scare you and dish your ease. They want you to still go to work till the last minute to make the corporation all its money. And they plan to steal your fucking home. You guys better GTFO this fucking area. I'm telling you, this is not a good place to want to be. Unless you're a disaster person who likes to take advantage of people. Well, there'll be a lot of that going on. Okay, so watch your minds, watch your wallets. Give charity directly. Find somebody themselves to help because, man, them Red Cross, they don't build enough houses with the billions they're giving. Should we ask the Northern Rivers about that? Exactly. But you're right there with their advertising logo, ain't they? Look what we did. We handed out donuts. Yeah, last time they handed out donuts to people, they're still dropping. My God, the terrible totals that are coming for you guys. And you're getting yours in quick order here, Vic in New South Wales. I'll show you. On there. Oh, wait do you see what EMCMFW got to say about your asses? Not so bad, right? So I'm seeing totals about like in about the 7 and 8 centimeter along this corridor here near the bending of the Dingo. Yeah, I'm watching Melbourne over the next 3 hours, 4 hours. They're going to get some big totals because of the shit that's coming through, and that should give you a break for a few days after that. Yeah. That's how that's gonna go. It's a mighty odd shape there. Do they have any Chembombs that look like that? Any Chembombs making a weird turn up here? Yes. So there's where they're filling in for your rain. You are gonna have a bit of a gap because they need the outflow to feed that up, but you can expect sometime tonight this shit's gonna roll in. You see these bombs right out here? Bit of boom, boom, booms. Boom, boom. See it right there? And these are going to make your weather coming over the next few hours, and it's all headed your direction. See that square right there makes an outflow towards this storm here and pinning it. You see that hazy line right there? That's evidence of that V-shaped beams that have been manipulating this storm. Hazing out the plasma. Just blows out the clouds a bit of perturbation line. Just that slight grayness there is proof of these here. The perturbation lines like that, you can see that the NEXRAD radar are manipulating your weather. You can see it in the clouds. It's not a glitch if it's having a physical effect on the clouds. But if you like to be lied to and believe a pleasant lie, it is a lot easier on you, to take that hopium, as we call it, rather than confront head on. You're owning the weather, they're stealing your children's future and going to make them pay for what's been stolen in advance. It's like they're stealing tomorrow's lunch money and making you pay for it today. This constant, us just living on the skins of our asses and bones of our asses while big fat kids are dancing in discos while we're locked down. Like Boris Johnson, a prime mismanager. Setting the tone of we're better than you, do as we say, not as we do. We could do what we want, you do what the fuck you're told. A mandate. Yeah, I'm sure I'm heterosexual. I don't want a mandate. See the 4 dot there? That's the domino. 4 and 3. 4 and 3. It's just a typical formation. It must be very easy for them to deploy that. Something came from a center point here. It's pointing right at a device. Something is deploying in the high atmosphere. You always see the number 5 in your sky? Think that's natural? Or are they just a bunch of snakes? Snake in the grass coming for your ass. You still see that beam is still on over there. The beam is on. Frying you on the street. 5G. Oh gosh, you guys should never have let that get put in place. Very hard to undo tech once they get their permission to use it. See that bomb right in the middle of the nothing there? Making sure the shockwave continues to go out and do as predicted in a predictable deployment. Right? They've got the ability, man. They got the ability to do a lot. They could do a lot. So don't you ever tell me it can't be done. Because I just showed you, not only can it be done, it is done. And they're advancing the tech. Look at the squared out area here. Right? With the bombs just on the edges. That takes planning. It's a plan. It's geoengineering. And those toxins are going over beautiful mountains with pristine lakes that are getting toxified. Nothing is pure blood as long as this is in the sky. So don't ever tell me you're pure blood. Or if you tell me you're pure blood, I think you're a Nazi. Because I've heard that term many times in my life, following the beatings of people that didn't deserve it, or bullying. Yes, we were bullied during the COVID experience because we chose not to take the jab. And it don't mean we shouldn't learn it. That feels bad to do. And we will not do that. You see that bomb just keeps going along this one area? You know, whether it's moving, it's just there. It's being deployed in one spot. It's hovering. It's a hover. And the balloons, like I showed yesterday, they do have propellers in them. They're remotely controlled. They ain't gonna waste the resources, man. They ain't gonna waste them. Bomb, bomb, bomb. See the bomb deployments? I don't think you have 3 factories here all steaming it up at once at 7:30 a.m. my time. You must be drinking too many Mai Tais to be thinking that kind of stuff. Look at this whole cluster bomb has been deployed over here. Cluster bombs. You ever see cluster bombs deployed from like a cruise missile? The tech is out there. My God, look what they can do to us. Look what they are doing to us. Look what they're doing to all the animals that you say you love. And we allow this to go on. People be fighting for personal things. And I'm probably fighting because this has become personal. I love my animals, and watching the trees, even the logs in people's stacked firewood have all black hearts. It's all heavy metals, and you don't want to be breathing that smoke. And when people burn their firewood, it's going up in the air. It's actually toxifying us. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at this bomb field here, sustaining the motion of this storm. And of course, the motion of the ocean is controlled a lot with pressure from above. The ass cloud taking a big shite. Let's go to Smellaciousness here and see their beam line sweatings. They're doing some sweatings. Yeah, the one radar they accidentally left in, I busted your balls with. I should have a screenshot of one that was going over Adelaide last time, wasn't it? Let's see if I can find it here. Here's some going to Chris last night. I was showing it's a very bad situation here coming toward New Zealand on one of the weather plans here that I screenshotted last night. Ooh, that's so good. And if I know about that already, it's known. I got this one here. No, I don't want to play. Good. I don't want to play that video. I want the screenshot. That's just some of the totals they were showing yesterday morning. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I busted a beam last night. It's not showing. Oh well, I digressed now. Let's just get back to it. They're not showing you the boost, but it shows you a straight line. The straight line is matching up with the beams that I was showing you here. Right, they're matching up, and they're matching up with here, with the lines that coming through the clouds. Yeah, so that's a slam bust that they're beaming you on. 3 different sources of information. It's making it compelling enough to invest, to warrant further investigation. Because the question of the day is, why are we lied to all the time? Why do they think we can't handle the truth? Why? Because what they're doing is illegal as fuck. Why? What they're doing is toxifying the world without permission. They're running the experiment that they propose. It's like somebody fucking your wife and then giving the indecent proposal to you afterwards. Yeah, fuck that shit. I ain't having it. Yeah, I said that. My God, there's nothing sacred anymore as it goes over mountains. Beautiful mountains, man. Mountains. You know mountains? Let's see, what else do we want to show you today that we don't want to show you? Right? You do have other hot spots of some storms today. Like this one coming through Sedona is going to be packing. An absolute wallop. Currently he's going, okay, that's older data. You have a storm raging through the Adelaide area here. This has got spinners in it. See the pulse? Boom, boom, boom. The rhythm of the radar, man. And each time it booms, it just squeezes up the storm into the top and forces a downpour of hailstones and whatever is being held aloft in the clouds. And this is along this the Murray River here. It's getting some, looks like it's getting some rains. Too little too late for the Murray, isn't it? Boy, they wiped out the cod. What a fucking mismanagement. They let them put a seawall in out here so that the water don't get back up into a tidal river anymore. I mean, it should have. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, I digress. I'm going to keep going with the weather. Somebody bring me a coffee. Oh, there's nobody here. There'll be nobody. This is going to be a very electrical line. When this tendril snaps, that's going to spin free. See the beam line going through it? You ain't hide just lies in the sky. I can always see what it does. How we doing in the far north? Oh, enjoy your sunshine day. The typical nipple ripple going out there in the coral sea of an island. It's so clouded over our worldview you can't see it. Yeah. And then they tell us if we're hiding our guilt of something if we don't want cameras down the street. Well, if they're hiding it, if they put clouds all over the top of it on Google Earth. Meanwhile, they show you waving in your window with half your clothes on a Google Earth car driving by. They could do that, but they don't do that. It's telling you it's a plan. You may see this, you may not see that. Not see this, do see that. Not see, not see, not see, not see. Not see skies. Well, I'm showing you the truth. And the truth is, boy, are you guys getting fubadio. Some of your high tops on your clouds today are mostly all offshore. Hitting hard over there. Tassie's probably one of the only. It's some really high spots. Right there. There's a bad batch going over Hobart. But the whole circulation is being forced up and down until this flow is allowed fully through this area. This will go and slide south. And after that, everything zooms over. And it'll be happening shortly. This line has to get to here. From here to here. So you're looking probably about 18 hours. They should release the flow into the Tasman Sea through the Strait. Then the breeze will start hitting the tap it is here. This will start to move. This comes up and around, and it gives you all a big wet slap right in Hawke's face. What a fucking shame. Really, if they told you the totals, you had some 8 centimeter, 75 centimeters run through Perth yesterday. I told you it was coming days in advance. And so some people were actually able to pull some of their stuff in the air, which makes me feel worthwhile, right? But the totals coming down here are ungodly. They're forced, and it's all along a very predictable line that they want smartening up, and I believe they're coming for the town of Wangaratta. And the town of Benalla is going to get the old bell end, because I believe you're getting the treatment too. Special treatment, because what rains over here is coming over there. What rains over here is going over there. Right? Okay, so where are you being targeted? You're having that dam is targeted. The power plant's being wanted over there is spoken for. So you don't think they're going to try to flood out the infrastructure all around this reservoir? You're fooling yourself. Well, you're just deluded. You're not watching what's going on. You're not seeing the conflict of interest between the politicians and the corporation. And as soon as they get out of office, they take a job with the corporation that they were pushing policies toward the benefit of, and they don't get in trouble for it. And I think that's extremely wrong. It's about as insider tradey as you could get. And instead of trading money, they traded you and your country for their wallet. A bunch of traitors. They'll make you a dame. Doesn't make you have good character. That's right. Titles mean shit when the people that do the titles are living in the high castles, and you can't even get the loaf of bread crumb off the table anymore. Yeah, even wait staff and stuff at events are hardly ever allowed to eat anymore. Yeah, drooling staff serving people steaks while they can hardly feed their families. Look, I got about 5 centimeters still to come up that way, and it's failed and headed towards you. And you got another event that's going to be coming. Right, I got to show you something. Let's see if it's still listed. This is not pleasant to show. I'm going to go with your wind graph here. I'm going to go about here. Right, watch. Right, Access, which is pretty much the one that all the weather services use. And I'm going to agree, because I said a week ago that the conditions were perfect for the formation of a big storm. You see that coming there and smacking you on Monday there? Your totals ain't expected to be extremely high, but I don't believe it. They need to work the cold air up and around to make a cyclone that is going to be hitting New Zealand. It looks like they heated it up. You got some bad times coming, man. The forming of the double bubble, and boom. Bonsai pipeline will be running on Thursday the 15th for sure. And you guys better get ready for some coastal erosion. And this is also not a very pleasant thing to show you the 40-mile-an-hour winds. And when it does the turn is when it usually spits rain. And so this is a dangerous situation beginning to unfold for East Coast Australia. And as it heads toward New Zealand, this is collected all that. It has gone to up 10 strength. That's going to be a big one. And even showing at that right there, you're showing a high strength tropical storm. But it's not hurricane or tropical cyclone strength. But at this time of year, with these conditions they got going, it may be unusual, but not unheard of. But when you got the hot from the tropics and the cold from down there mixing just right, and the biggest vortex ever made, the geoengineer's cauldron, and it's going to bear down on you guys. And we're going to watch this very closely because according to the pressures that I see, that storm will go right over the top of the island, right over the top, and do it up and around. And my God, if there was ever a way to pray a storm away in advance, I don't want that weather plan to occur. With that said and with that done, be free. Be you. Be oneness. Big love. Peace.